Alright, what's up YouTube? So in this video, I'm going to be reupholstering this centerpiece. I'm going to be repainting all of this stuff because it's all like, you can see it's like this rubber stuff's like peeling off. But this is a little bit broken. Mine just comes right off, so I'm going to try to fix that. Then I've got some more cloth that looks just like this. Patrick actually made this for me for my birthday. And he had some leftovers, so I'm going to use it on the top of this because it's a little bit worn. It's not too bad, but I figured I may as well make good use of it. Alright, so the first thing you gotta do is pop this whole fabric piece off. So just get under there with the screwdriver. And it should lift right up. I took this off once before. There's some tabs in there, so it might be a little trickier, but you can see it. There we go. So it's just two separate pieces. Alright, so I've got my fabric here. Alright, so I'm going to flip my fabric over. I like this big orange planet. I think it'd be kind of cool in the middle. I want it kind of like that. So I'm going to take a Sharpie. I'm just going to kind of trace an outline pretty big. And then I'll cut that out. Yeah, so it'll kind of be like that. That's more than enough. I'm going to be using some Loctite spray adhesive. I used this on the headliner in my car. I did that before I was making videos, but it's held up really well so far, so it'll do just fine for this. I'm just going to do a little bit at a time, but I'm going to spray it on both parts. So, alright, so I'm going to do a little bit on the front right here. Let's get the edges too. Make sure to coat a bunch of this too. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this right to where I want it. Just kind of scratch it right over in place. Up there right now. Just if you keep tension on it, it won't wrinkle. Alright, so that's that first top part. Do a little more. Just smooth it out as you go. You just want to like pull any of the stresses or any of the seams out if you can. Oh, you gotta be shitting me. I just dropped this and broke this again. Alright, so looking at it now, looks pretty good. Just a minor wrinkle here in the back. But other than that, I don't really see any. So now what I can do is I can cut any of this excess stuff off. Leave a little bit, but this is more than you need. So that's about what you want right there. So you do, that's probably a little more than you want, but that's okay. I've actually got some of these little clamps that I never really use, but they'll be useful here. Clamp that in place. And then some of these spots you're going to have to kind of just tuck it over itself. I'm sure you could do this without these little clamps. They're just actually coming really handy right now. stuff gets all over your fingers when you do this. So I'm just going to leave that to sit for a minute. I'll snap this back into place. This is just going to slide. You go down, slide in, and just push this down too. There we go. It clicks. Alright, so this thing's all done. I filled this up with epoxy last night too. See if that'll help. Then I put some epoxy on this piece too, because it seems to want to keep breaking. And now I'm going to drop it on here. See if this works. That looks kind of cool. Alright, so I got this whole thing on. Fortunately, this piece back here is still kind of snapped again. I'm not really sure if there's any way to fix that. I've tried a lot of ways now. But it still works. It's fully functional, so just when you pick it up, it's a little loose, which I don't really like, but it's okay. But now I'm going to take all these pieces out. I'm just going to take a screwdriver and try to pry it out. These just pop right out. Ooh, I'm gonna have to be a little bit careful this whole thing doesn't get wrecked. Alright, so this takes a lot of wiggling and moving around, but I think I pretty much got it out. Just gotta be kind of careful with these things. And then you gotta pop all these out. Now these just kind of wiggle off. Okay, now once you get this off, there's these little tabs in here. You push in. You gotta push them in on both sides. And then it just slides out. So there we go. Now I've got all this off, and I'm gonna just try to peel all that off when I get inside, because it won't stick to that. And I just took these out too for now. I'm gonna drive in a minute, so it's gonna be a little weird, but it'll be alright. I'm just gonna work it with a screwdriver. So it all pops out as like a big piece. Okay, so I just need to take these tabs off here. These tabs right here, I'm just gonna pop them all off. I'm gonna be a little gentle because this plastic's kind of brittle. And then this one you've seen me take out before if you've watched my other videos, but this light thing kind of pops in. And the whole thing comes out like that. And then you gotta just push these two tabs in and pull that whole guy out. Alright, then you gotta take this little switch out, so it just pops right out too. Dimmer switch. Oh, mine's all mangled up because I did some mods to it. You would usually have to take that screw out, but it's kind of broken on mine, so the whole thing just kind of pops out. Alright, so I got this piece out too now. I've got them all out, and I actually plugged these back in because I'm about to go somewhere. So my lights still work. It looks kind of cool with all these little LEDs lighting up in here actually. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sand all this stuff off so the paint grabs nice, because like you can see it's all peeling around all of them. Alright, so I'm driving around here. I feel like a goof with these lights. Like this is just like, these little LEDs are super bright actually. But if you were doing this for whatever reason, make sure to put this piece back in when you drive, because I realized like when I had it out, when I turned on my blinkers, like they didn't work. Alright, so I'm just going to take some sandpaper. This is 100 grit. And just sand this all off. Comes off pretty easy. Alright, so sanding didn't really work that well. The sandpaper just got really gummed up really fast. So I've been just using some paint thinner. And just kind of dabbing it on there and going with a putty knife. And just kind of scraping it off, and it's going relatively quick. So I got most of it off with this. I just gotta sand a little more, just some of the little stuff. Alright, so I got these all sanded down pretty good. I didn't go like inside of there because it's going to get covered up by the buttons anyway, so didn't seem like really a big deal. Alright, first coat's on. There you go, second coat. Alright, so I let these sit overnight, and I'm going to throw a quick coat of clear over them before I put them in. So I'll let these dry for a couple minutes. Alright, so I only did one coat of clear, but I think they're fine. Alright, so I'm going to start with this one, and I just got to pull all these switches back out again. Okay, the hardest part of this is going to be getting these little flaps back in. I didn't want to paint these because I thought it would gum them up, and I think it will look kind of cool with the black inside of the purple. But the way you tell if it's, you want to put it so it's all the way closed, like there's a big damper in there. So you put it all the way, you roll this thing all the way up until it clicks for it's all the way closed. This one's actually kind of broken, I guess. That damper doesn't move at all, so the only way to close it is just with these flaps. So I'm going to put it all the way up. Then you kind of have to slide this in with the two tabs facing down. There's two tabs. And then it kind of just sits in there. It works like that, but it doesn't really work unless you have the cover over it. So now I have to slide this over, so I'm going to put these things through and just kind of push it into place. I'm just going to snap it in. And then this should work. Yeah, there we go, just like that. And I'm just going to snap those pieces, the switches back in, and then snap them all the way back in. So I had this one in. And I just need to push it into place, and then it clicks. There we go. Alright, so I gotta do the same thing with these pieces. I gotta stick them in. I guess I already did it on this one, or maybe that one just never came out. Oh, and I have to pull this off too, because I put this back on last night when I drove. So I'm gonna kind of snake all these through there and snap it on. So I can just push it into place. Might need two hands to do this. And I might not. Let's see, come on. And just gotta pop the switches all back on. So I snapped all the switches back on. You want to make sure you get them all in the right spot. Anti-slip regulator, hazard switch, and then your defroster. And these all just should slide right in place. There. They click kind of hard. And then these little black tabs, so these just push right in. Now I just gotta do that last one over there. And this just slides right over. And overall, pretty successful here. We got all new trim in here. That's purple. I think that looks pretty cool. This dash, or this console piece is reupholstered. There we go.